We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
Greetings. I am Hatshepsut, Pharaoh of Egypt. You see, I have watched the rise and fall of civilizations, the construction of empires, and the triumphs of mankind. But there are forces beyond any ruler's control. Forces that, when left unchecked, can lead to destruction. The year is 1945, and the world is locked in the final throes of World War II. Nations are battered and broken, and the battlefield spans continents. The Axis powers, once formidable in their strength, are now on the verge of defeat. Yet, there remains one final obstacle: Japan. Despite the crushing weight of defeat, the country refuses to surrender. Its leaders determined to maintain their honor, their pride, even in the face of overwhelming loss. The United States, in its desperation to end the war and save countless lives, has a weapon so devastating that it promises to alter the very fabric of humanity's existence: the atomic bomb. Created in the secretive labs of the Manhattan Project, this weapon is like no other. Its power can level entire cities in the blink of an eye. And with the successful detonation of the Trinity test in July 1945, it was clear that the bomb had achieved its intended purpose. The world had entered a new era, and there was no turning back. On August 6, 1945, the first bomb, known as Little Boy, was dropped on the city of Hiroshima. The explosion was unlike anything the world had ever witnessed. A force so immense, it flattened everything in its path. Tens of thousands of lives were snuffed out in an instant. And yet, despite the devastation, Japan still refused to surrender. In the halls of power, as the clock ticked forward, the decision was made to drop a second bomb. The target was Nagasaki, a city with a population of over 240,000. The weapon, Fat Man, was even more powerful than its predecessor. The destruction it unleashed was beyond comprehension. It was August 9th, 1945, and at 11:02 a.m., the bomb fell from the skies above Nagasaki. The flash that followed could be seen from miles away, a blinding light that consumed everything. The earth shook with a force that seemed to reverberate through time itself. Once again, death swept across the city. Over 70,000 people died instantly, their lives wiped away by the fury of man's creation. Yet still, Japan did not immediately surrender. Their pride, their honor, held them captive in a war they could not win. And so, it was not until August 15th, 1945, when the overwhelming weight of a loss finally broke the resolve of their leaders, that Japan announced its surrender. The war, which had ravaged the globe, was over. But the devastation did not cease with the signing of peace. The aftermath of Nagasaki, like Hiroshima before it, was a world of unimaginable suffering. The survivors, those who lived through the bomb's fury, carried scars that would never heal. The radiation, a silent killer, claimed countless more lives in the weeks and years that followed, and the land itself remained poisoned, forever altered by the forces unleashed. As a pharaoh, I have known the power of building and destruction. I have seen empires rise and fall, the might of armies clash, and monuments rise from the earth. But I have also known the consequences of unchecked power, the toll it takes on the soul of a nation. And I wonder, as I reflect on these events, was this victory truly worth the price? The atomic bomb, in its terrifying power, ended the war. But in doing so, it reshaped the very nature of conflict. No longer would battles be fought with soldiers on the ground, but with the power to obliterate entire cities in an instant. The world had entered an age where the line between victory and devastation had become dangerously thin. And so I ask myself, as any ruler must, what is the true cost of power? What is the price of peace? For in the wake of such destruction, there can be no true victory, only the ruins of a world forever changed. The atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki may have forced Japan to surrender, but the scars they left behind will never fade. Those who survived will carry the weight of that moment for the rest of their lives, and the world, forever altered, will never return to what it once was. As a ruler, I have known the temptation of power, the desire to bend the world to one's will. But true leadership, I have come to realize, is not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to protect, to preserve, and to guide a people toward a future of peace. A ruler's greatest task is not to wield power for its own sake, but to use it to protect the lives entrusted to their care. In the end, what is a victory when it comes at the cost of humanity itself? The atomic bomb may have ended the war, but it also marked the beginning of a new era, one in which the consequences of unchecked power will echo through the generations. The lesson is clear. True greatness lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to preserve life, even when it seems impossible. The atomic age is upon us, but so too must be the age of wisdom, of restraint, and of a ruler's duty to protect their people from the forces that seek to destroy them, both from within and without. May we remember that the greatest strength of any ruler is not in the destruction they bring, but in the peace they forge.